Hello everyone, I'm Diode and this is episode 2 on my 0 to Keystone Master journey. Do you remember this from the previous episode? I managed to defeat some bosses with some difficulty as it's my first time tanking on this expansion, but expecting the expected, I win nothing from the loot rolls, but at least it fills up my vault for the Tuesday reset. Well, I got a glowing mail icon telling me I might have been wrong, so before we check that out, I'll leave you with my friend Asmongold, who is totally my friend and I just didn't steal a clip for one of his 15 channels.
This is a very interesting graphic, and I think the reason why it's so interesting is that how many of you all have seen a YouTuber at the start of the video, "Oh, did you know that only 33% of you guys were subscribed? Make sure to click the bell and turn on notifications for you to see all my new videos." And they'll show this exact graph, and it'll be the opposite.
I didn't think it was gonna go that way, but here's mine to show with you it's true. So be sure to subscribe, click the notifications, and then do all the things. And I have no idea how to segue, so roll the intro. Oh, you're still here. I thought the cringe might have pushed you away, so remember what I said I didn't get any gear last week? Well, I just checked my mail and I got these two trinkets that are both eye level upgrades and just overall better for me. Are they best in slot for my class? I have no idea. Are they even good? No idea either, but they're purple, they have a higher number, and they have green text saying they do extra stuff, so I'm happy with that. As usual, we go through the weekly checklist by defeating the world boss. I help some random people make a community soup that spawns a Frankenstein fish monster, which we unalive and get nothing from. I go around the Dragon Isles, removing some rares from the map, which as usual drop nothing for me. Managed to draw in a Dragonbane Keep Siege that only granted me some elemental overflow, but opened up the chance to defeat Captain Lancer, who drops the same gloves we already had. It might just be me, but I honestly think this is not my week. Oh, I also joined a hunt that I got a minor upgrade from, but hey, an upgrade is an upgrade. More world quests were completed to finish up the Accord quest in Voldraken. Cool thing to note here, if the character you're playing is an alt, you can skip a lot of the introductory quests so you can come back for some nice rep chunks to complete the requirement for your 3000 rep a week after you've exhausted your events and world quests. I finally made it back to Voldraken so I can finally check my vault after getting nothing from the Dragon Isles, where I actually get 2 upgrades, and I decide to choose the shoulder since they're the lowest item level on my character from the 2. Okay, now the part that I was actually trying to stall for. Actually going into Mythic Plus. Gonna be honest with you all, I'm not a good WoW player, and maybe average or slightly below it, and going into this challenge had me really questioning my decision to try it out. I was fine doing the prep work and psyching myself up for actually setting a goal for myself in the game, but standing in front of the dungeon portal really brought things into perspective. The people who were going to group with me from now on are depending on me to set the route, to know the fights, to know the ins and outs of every mechanic. Needless to say, I felt totally unprepared. I started off by tackling a Mythic 0 Ruby life pools to gauge my tanking abilities for Dragonflight dungeons, while some players consider Mythic 0 to be just heroic with a bit more health and damage. To me it was something brand new. I didn't know what to expect because I have never stepped foot in a Mythic dungeon of any level. We had a few wipes, some because I overpulled, some because I lost aggro, and some because the other players messed up mechanics or something. Overall, a good learning experience for me, I'd say. From the life pools, I got my first ever Mythic Keystone at +2 fortified Shadow Moon Burial Grounds. Great. A dungeon I remember nothing about from years ago and now I have to tank it. Well, no rest for the wicked. I set up a group that formed quickly to my surprise. I figured people would just be playing +20s at this point, but thankfully there are players progressing every day. For this one, I went onto YouTube to search around for routes and tips, which really helped me calm my nerves. That and the fact that the people in my group were absolute pumpers on the damage and healing meters. What were they doing in a +2? I have no idea, but I'm grateful for it. Special shout out to the priest who took the lead and called out interrupts, routes, lusts, and all the other good stuff in the dungeon. With Ner'zhul defeated and no gear obtained, as usual, we move on to the Broken Isles from Legion for my next dungeon, a +5 Halls of Valor. I've heard all the horror stories from Halls of Valor at higher levels, so I'm thankful that even with 8 deaths, we managed to +2 the key and complete the dungeon. The key I got from that was a +7 Court of Stars, yet another Legion dungeon that I have zero familiarity with, this time with Fortified, Raging, and Quaking, so I had to watch out for a lot of stuff while trying to learn and keep the group safe. So as you can see here, I downloaded Mythic Dungeon Tools. Why? Because I want to learn the routes, I want to do the proper thing. Some of you might think that tanking my way to Keystone Master is gonna be the easiest thing because there's not many tanks around and everybody will just flock to your group. But that comes with the responsibility of you having to learn the routes, the interrupts, the mobs, every single minute detail of the dungeon before you can do it. Because as a DPS, you just DPS. Sure, there are some things you can interrupt and some things you have to move out of. But as a tank, you see here, I have to come in, I gotta pull this back, so I have to make sure that I don't pull this back or this back over here, and then I move over here. This is a pre-imported route, so I'm taking this from somebody else, so I can at least learn something and go from that. So you see here, we come in through this part, we have to do this pull, then move over here, yada yada yada, follow the numbers. That's basically how you win. But in Mythic Dungeon Tools, you also have this cute little add-on to it where you can see which mobs are there, and if you want to know if you need to interrupt something important, you just click on them. So you see there's a bunch of mobs right here, and if you want to see if they're dangerous or not, you just right click them and there you go. You get the whole thing, you get the whole abilities, and you know what you have to interrupt, what you have to avoid, and stuff like that. So if you are learning to do Mythic Dungeons, just go over here and Mythic Dungeon Tools, go on Google and just look for import routes, and then you just get the code. Come over here on import, you press on import, you put the code in, and that's how you get the pretty numbers in the screen. And also, aside from that, I've been watching a lot of videos from Quasi. I started following him when he went over to Final Fantasy XIV because I didn't know he made WoW videos, and with the whole Final Fantasy Exodus, you know, a lot of videos started getting recommended to me, and I really liked his gameplay, and I saw he was a WoW player, and he used to do, and now he's doing a lot of Mythic Dungeon guides and stuff like that, so you should definitely go sub to him if you're not, and definitely give a like to his videos because he produces really great content. He goes play by play on what to do, what to pull, how to pull it, when to pull it, what to interrupt, what to watch out for. He gives you tips on skips and stuff like that, so it's honestly just a fantastic resource for you to have if you're trying to go for Mythic Dungeons or just Keystone Master or anything like that, or if you're just running Mythic Dungeons once a week or whatever. So definitely go check him out if you haven't already. I don't know why you shouldn't, but yeah, just go on there and do this. Now, Court of Stars has me absolutely terrified. Why? Because I haven't played Court of Stars. I think the last time I did it was in Legion as a heroic dungeon while I was max level or playing along or something like that. So I've never done Mythic Plus, I've never done Court of Stars, I've never done tanking in Court of Stars Mythic Plus, so this is gonna be fun. And we have our key right here is a Court of Stars 7 with Fortified, Raging, and Quaking, so there's a lot of stuff to watch out for. We're still not Thundering yet, I think that's when you get to +10s. So I'm just gonna try to stack up a group and see how we do. Now this is what I had imagined Mythic Plus to be from a pug perspective. players not knowing the mechanics, pulling random stuff from the sides because lack of awareness, dying to things I'm trying to avoid, among other stuff. Thankfully, we clear by the tiniest of margins, and we finally get some gear upgrades. I wanted to give my wrists a rest, so I went ahead and queued for a quick LFR run to end the day. In it, we defeated Aeronog, the Elemental Council, and Athea. I did have to go and watch some quick guides on how to tank these bosses, so shout out to Hazelnutty for always having concise videos just a quick YouTube search away. I don't remember getting any upgrades from this, but at least I know I can unlock an extra vault reward that I can possibly turn into a tier item in the future. With everything I could do on a single play session done, it was time for me to log off. Not before buying some reagents from the auction house so I could get a craft order for my very own elemental lariat. Going back to what I said on the first video, I'm kind of an idiot and didn't understand how work orders worked. Luckily, a player by the name of Holy Mojo from Mugthol contacted me in game and offered to craft the lariat for me. I did forget to include the missive for optimal stats, but I'll work on that once I need another item level boost and have some gold to spare. Now, an eye level 375 from last week's 361 might not seem a big upgrade for some, but for me it was a huge step up from what I had accomplished previously. Sadly, this past week I could only log on for one play session, just in case you guys were wondering if my claims to be a casual were true. Hopefully, I can play a bit more in the future, but working full time, studying, and working on a thesis dissertation take priority on gaming. Thankfully, the end of the season is still quite a way, so I can keep pushing bit by bit till I achieve my goal. For now, the servers are going down on Tuesday for maintenance, and I have about an hour to put up this video together. So, I'll see you on the next reset and fade to black?